No? Welcome everybody. Firstly, let me thank everybody for coming. I know it's a busy fight week here in New York with Madison Square Garden a block away. The fight's taking place tonight. I appreciate everybody coming out. Appreciate the media coming and supporting. We have a fantastic event that we're here for next Friday night at Turning Stone, June 7th, at Turning Stone Casino. And it's up in Verona, New York. Wonderful destination casino these days. They've been really a friend of boxing, really kicking in for boxing since they established years ago when they had Layla Ali fighting up there. They've had, it was Muhammad Ali's daughter, as you know. That was, her boxing debut was made up at Turning Stone Casino in 1999. And since then, they've been a great friend of boxing. Showtime events up there, HBO events up there we've had. The Provodnikov-Matisse fight was up there, which was a Fight of the Year contender. So we're really pleased that they're supporting this fight, which is a real true New York fight. And I'll speak a little more towards that in a second, but the fight will take place June 7th in the main arena at Turning Stone Casino. And that, as you know, will be Fight Week USA, because that is where the Hall of Fame is. It's a stone's throw away. The Hall of Fame festivities will be taking place. The inductions for all this year's members of the Hall of Fame will be up there. And we'll be doing a lot in conjunction with Fight Week, with this fight, as well as the Hall of Fame for all the festivities. All the Hall of Fame inductees will be at the fight. They'll be able to mingle with the fans. There'll be special VIP receptions for you to mingle with the Hall of Famers. And it's going to be a rewarding night. So if you haven't gotten tickets yet, get your tickets for Turning Stone Casino and Hall of Fame Fight Week. I'm really pleased that we're going to be able to bring this fight up to Turning Stone Casino. All right? The fight will be aired. If you can't make it to Turning Stone Casino, it'll be on pay-per-view. Right. Fight.tv will be the main source of distribution, and you can catch that anywhere online, the normal channels online, but it's Fight.tv, F-I-T-E.tv. And that'll be a pay-per-view event. I think we're on for $19.95, okay? This fight is a fight that resonates New York. And fitting that on a Hall of Fame night, we're going to have a man fighting who really is thought to be a candidate for the Hall of Fame in the future when he retires. 6 times he's been a world champion. Right? Very pleased he's making his comeback here. It's going to be Zab Judah, 44-9 with 30 knockouts. Right? Brooklyn's own. And he'll be fighting against another one, born in Brooklyn, lives out in Long Island now, and really the pride of the Paramount these days because of his punching power, and that's Cletus the Hebrew Hammer Selden. 23 wins, 1 loss with 19 knockouts, right, from Shirley, New York, Long Island. That's a thrilling, exciting main event. The fight will be for the NABA title. The winner certainly expects to be in line for a title fight. Before I introduce both of them and have them speak, I want to thank a couple of our sponsors. I'll ultimately speak a little about the undercard, but our sponsors and particularly where we are today. I want to thank Ben's Kosher Deli. All right, we're going to have a great lunch spread over here later, pastrami, corned beef. I think it's a real testament to Cletus Selden and the Hebrew Hammer heritage, and I guess the Zab Judah as well, since that Star of David has often been on that trunks. I've seen him in the past. So it's fitting to be here at Ben's Kosher Deli, and we appreciate them having us. This time I'm going to throw for a few seconds to say a few words from a very, very good and dear sponsor, co-partner, venture, relationship team of ours, They handle a lot of our social media, the fighter interaction. They also handle a lot of the streaming that we're doing right now online, and that's Core BTS. So at this time, I'm going to throw to say a couple words. Matt Palmera.
Hey, thanks everybody. We're really excited to be here, and as Joe said, I want to thank Kevin and Hal for having us here today. Very excited. As Joe said, when you get the opportunity to work with quality people and a quality organization like Star Boxing with a quality guy like Hebrew Hammer, Cletus Selden, we feel very blessed. We're excited to be here. Get to see a 6-time world champion trying to push the sun back up into the sky for a little bit longer against who I think is the greatest power puncher from Long Island, Hebrew Hammer. We're very excited to be, again, the partner with Star Boxing on this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thrilling undercard before I start introducing these two teams. On the undercard, also fitting with the Hall of Fame festivities, will be Roberto Duran's son, Robert Duran Jr. And Robert will be trained by, get this, if you really want to talk about Hall of Fame types, Vinny Pazienza, who's now called Vinny Paz. So in that corner, you'll have Roberto Duran Jr. with Vinny Paz training him. Also on the card, another Long Islander who we have high regard for. He's our undefeated prospect, Wendy Toussaint. 9-0, 4 knockouts. Really, we have high expectations of him in the future. Boubacar Silla, 9-0 from Cincinnati, Ohio. He'll be fighting against Marquise Hawthorne, who's coming off that huge upset win over Ronnie Austian. A couple of local guys, Alex Vanessa fighting Eric Abraham. I mentioned Roberto Duran's son, Robert Duran. And then there's going to be an international fight featuring another prospect of ours, an Italian fighter from Italy, Mario Alfano from Rome, Italy. He's 14-0, and he's fighting Levias Williams. Co-feature fight will be for the WBO International Championship as well as the WBA Intercontinental Championship. And that's going to be David Pepot, who's 22-0 from Saint-Marie, France. And he'll be fighting against another tie to the Hall of Fame, and that's Buddy McGirt's son, Buddy McGirt Jr., James Buddy McGirt Jr. And he's 27-3. And that's another interesting fight because Buddy McGirt Sr. will be inducted to the Hall of Fame for his illustrious boxing career that week. So it'll be fitting to have his son fighting for 2 international championships, international and intercontinental championships by the WBA and WBO. So a great co-feature fight. Outstanding card at Turning Stone Casino is going to be headlined by your main event. As I said, on one hand, we have one of the hardest punchers in the division in Cletus Selden, 19 knockouts, 23 wins, only 1 defeat, right? And he's fighting against a 6-time world champion in Zab Judah. Right? The fight itself really makes for a thrilling matchup between power puncher, and if you've seen Cletus fight, you know he's all over you right from the get-go. You know, he's like a throwback to the 50s. From the minute that bell rings, he's on top of you. The Zab Judah, probably one of the most skilled and talented fighters in Brooklyn maybe ever. You know, Zab has been something special. So before I get to the 2 fighters, I'm going to just have their camps say a few words. And at this point in time, I'm going to throw to the manager of Cletus Selden, and that's Brian Busto. Brian?
Hi, how are you today? We're very excited, and we thank you all for being here. This is a great opportunity for Cletus, and he's trained very hard, and we're looking forward to having a great fight, and I hope you all can enjoy the festivities and everything that leads up to this. And it will be a good time. So please come down or watch the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. And next to Brian is the trainer and also a partner in the management of Cletus, a boxing staple here in New York for since when I was fighting, back when. And he's got multiple years, multiple fighters, multiple champs that he's brought through and contenders. Was running the Westbury gym for years. Now he's down in Florida, but I want to introduce Pete Brodsky.
Thank you. As my partner Brian said, we're very honored to be in the main event for this great International Boxing Hall of Fame weekend. I personally know Zab Judah and his dad Yoel for years. And besides being a great fighter, I always found Zab and his dad be quality people. Right up front, they got something to say it straight, and I have nothing but great respect for him. And as for our fighter, Cletus Sheldon, Cletus is trained with more intensity and more focus than I've ever seen him. And I think that you're going to see one heck of a great fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. Now, just want to throw to the Zab Judah trainer and managers before we get again to the fighters themselves. But first, I'll ask to say a couple words. The manager of Zab Judah, and guy I've known for a good number of years now as well. He fights hard for his fighters, and a good manager, has a good number of fighters. Just throw it to Bill Halkias.
Thank you, Joe. I just want to thank Star Boxing and Team Seldon for taking the fight to give Zab this opportunity to get another title. Zab's training hard, and he's focused and serious, and I see another belt in his future. So just want to thank everybody involved and thank the media for coming today.
Thank you, Bill. And the trainer, as you know, is also Zab's dad. Another man, really, you know, when you talk about boxing, really something special. New York, we have a real, history of boxing, and the people that are really involved in the sport go back many, many years. I mentioned about Pete Brodsky and how long I've known him, and when I was boxing, and that's many years ago. Same thing with Yoel Judah. I don't know, 30 years maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
As Peter mentioned, a real quality person, says what's on his mind, speak direct, you don't have to worry about pulling punches, and it's always been a pleasure knowing Yoel and being involved with you from a business and outside perspective. And I'm going to throw now to the trainer and dad of Zab Judah, Yoel Judah.
Thank you very much. I'm glad everybody got here safe. I want to thank God for us being here, and that we trained very hard for this fight. And I think Zab was a throwback maybe 15 years ago. That's how you know. Okay? He did everything by the book. He trained very hard for this fight. I want to thank Team Seldon. I know Mr. Brodsky, I know Pete for a long time. Very high-tech trainer, very good trainer. I know that he's intense. I know Seldon, he's well prepared. Okay? We also, but you understand, he's a knockout artist, Seldon. What do you think Zab is? All right? That's what you got to watch. You got to know what you ask for. Okay? So, we love this fight. We're ready for it. Let's go. Let's bring it on. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoel. So, the main event. You heard from the two camps. We're going to introduce both fighters now. The fight itself really is compelling. I speak to so many guys in this boxing industry, and they say, this is a fight. It's a fight people are interested in, people want to see. And I'm pleased we've been able to put this together. Looking forward to seeing it on June 7th at Turning Stone Casino. So at this point in time, I'm going to introduce a man from originally born in Brooklyn, lives out in Long Island now, has really been something special from the Paramount series that we've had. Chris Algieri is fighting tonight. He was developed at the Paramount. Joe Smith, you saw when he knocked out Bernard Hopkins. Fonfera, and the like. He was that developed through the Paramount. Well, so is Cletus Selden. And Cletus, if you haven't been to the Paramount shows, you know. I mean, he's got the fans yelling, Hebrew Hammer. They love the knockout power, and he's a real banger. An exciting fighter, right? A throwback. Again, a testament to Pete's style of having a guy crowd and crouch like the old 1950s. But he's something special, and he's really established a name for himself in New York. And I'm pleased to introduce to you, he's got a record of 23-1 with 19 knockouts. This is the only man he shares with Roy Jones and Mike Tyson as one of only 3 men to be back-to-back co-featured fights on featured fights on HBO. That's a good company to be in. And in that fight, the second fight on HBO, which is the one fight that he lost, he had an injury. He hasn't spoken about it, but frankly, he had Tommy John surgery, had to be conducted right after that fight. So it's a real testament to him as well, because he wanted to go into that fight anyway, to join the ranks of Roy Jones and Mike Tyson. But really, he's got a real tremendous background, tremendous knockout power, and an exciting fighter. Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer Selden. Cletus?
Joe was interested. He invited me to a kosher deli, knowing I'm a Jewish boy. I want to eat bagels and lox, all this stuff. That's crazy. That's his style, and that's why he picked this fight together. Because he knows that I can bring the most exciting fight for him in his stable. I know that. But reality is, I got respect for Zab Judah, 6-time world champion, he's a legend in the sport. I respect everything he's done. I respect that he even went out, had to get a job, to support his family, had to do that. I respect that he's fighting on Hall of Fame weekend in front of legends. Any athlete in any sport would love to do that in front of people. But when we get in the ring, and that bell rings until the last bell rings, I have no respect, I have no care, I just have determination, and I'm one job in mind. And that's hurting the other individual in front of me, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Cletus. So, Cletus will be fighting 6-time world champion, a man who's got tremendous experience in that ring. You know, when you think about Zab Judah came out of the amateurs at 139 pounds. He's a 139-pound champion. He's fighting now. How many years later is this? Right?
About 30s now. 27, 28.
Fighting decades later. And what's his weight? The same exact. Okay, by 1 pound, because in the pros it's 140, not 139.
If that ain't discipline, I don't know what it is.
Absolutely. That's discipline. And, you know, it's one of the reasons why he's been able to be 6-time world champion. One of the reasons why right now he'll be able to fight on Friday night at Turning Stone Casino for the NABA 140-pound championship. 1 pound over his amateur days. And that's something special. Zab has really been a special fighter. He's Brooklyn through and through. He's actually even wearing it today. And it's a fantastic record, as you know, 44 wins, 9 losses, and we talk about Cletus's knockout power. Zab has got 30 knockouts. All right. This is a fight, an interesting fight, and I'm pleased to introduce 6-time world champion Zab Judah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just want to say I want to thank the media for coming out today. I want to thank Joe DeGuardi and Star Boxing for putting on this tremendous, great situation for me and Joe striking the deal and working together. And it's going to be a great deal. To my opponent, Cletus Selden, Team Selden, you know, I respect you guys, but welcome to the Terror Dome. You know what I mean? When they say about knockouts, I mean, I don't even got to talk about it. I mean, I got more knockouts than he got fights. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I mean, it's you know, it's self-explanatory what's going to happen here Saturday night. You know, I want to thank Team Judah, my father, Bill, Drago, the rest of my team that help in preparation for putting this fight together. Yo, you guys know how serious I am, how focused and dedicated I am for this fight coming up Friday night. Like I said, Friday night, the show of Super Judah and Team Judah, the train shall continue. Starting with Cletus 7.
Thank you, Zeb.